Hi guys! So today's video is going to be my birthday book haul, and I basically just asked for books, and even though my birthday is actually this Sunday, I've already kind of celebrated it. I got a decent amount of books, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. The first book I got I've been wanting for a while, and I know everybody seems like has read it except for me, and that would be A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I've pretty much only heard good things about this, and I hear it's very sad. Everybody says it makes them cry. I'm not really a crier when it comes to books and movies, but I do really appreciate a really beautifully told story and a really emotionally taxing story, and I've just been wanting this for so long and for some reason never gotten it, so happy I got it for my birthday. The next book I got I have also been wanting for a really long time, but every time I went to the bookstore they either didn't have it or it was damaged, and for some reason I just never got it online, and that would be book 1 of the Black Prism series by Brent Weeks. I've heard really good things about Brent Weeks' writing. I've heard that the Night Angel series is really great and I plan on reading that eventually too, but the magic system of this book sounds so interesting. It's basically a world where light and color and everything are kind of how people get their magic, and there is a person called the Prism who can control basically all of the different light and colors and stuff like that, but the more magic you use, the more of your life it drains, so the more powerful you are with magic, kind of the less of a life you're gonna have. I thought that sounded so interesting and so unique and cool, and on top of it all, it's autographed. So the next couple of books I got, instead of sending people a list of books I wanted and then having them pick out a couple, I actually was also given a gift card, and I went on Barnes & Noble's website because Barnes & Noble online is so much cheaper than Barnes & Noble in store. And if you're a member, and my husband and I are, you always automatically get 10% off. And they had a sale going on that if you spent a certain amount, you'd get 15% off. And I had a gift card, so I literally didn't spend any money on the next few books. Yay for birthdays. So the first 4 books I got with my Barnes & Noble gift card were the first 4 books of the 7 Realms series by Cinda Williams Chima. I had heard from another booktuber whose channel I'll link down below, it's called Book Cravings, that this is one of her favorite series of all time, one of her favorite fantasy series, and she just talked about the plot and it being a lot of political intrigue and there being a nice romance in the story, but the romance isn't what takes over the series. It's still more about the plot and the characters and things like that. And I do think that in a lot of fantasy, sometimes the romance pushes the story, and then when it either trickles down or finally builds up, then you realize that the story itself was lacking. And according to her, that's not the case with this series, which is really nice and very refreshing because I'm not opposed at all to there being a romantic interest in stories. I just like when I'm not only fueled by the romance. Does that make sense? You guys get it. The next 2 books and the last 2 books I got with my gift card were books 2 and 3 of the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I bought the first one from a used bookstore where I live, and I've heard pretty good things. A lot of people say that this series is a little bit cliche and everything, but anytime that a book has a ton of political intrigue and monarchies and kings and queens and people vying for the throne and stuff like that, I'm instantly hooked. And on top of it, I have heard that these are good and that they're addicting and they really draw you in. It's not like I'm sitting here hearing everybody say like, oh, those books are garbage, and I'm like, but there's royalty and stuff. In all seriousness though, I really don't mind cliches as long as they're not too extreme. I mean, how many stories have you read that are revenge stories or chosen one stories? So yeah, a little bit of cliche doesn't bother me. I think I'm really gonna like these books, and I happen to match them today. And I have a matching fetish, so that makes me really happy. So the last thing I got with my birthday money that is not gonna be really a big deal for most of you, but is so exciting for me, is the super fancy Polish edition of the Witcher books. Now, when I say Polish edition, I don't mean just covers, I mean literally, these books are in Polish. I don't happen to speak a lick of it, but I don't even care because I love these so much. I'm actually gonna make a whole separate video about these covers because they were so hard for me to find and get a hold of, but if you've watched my channel at all, you know that I love Witcher. Witcher's about this monster hunter named Geralt, and it's friggin' awesome. Anyway though, I, like a lot of other Americans, was introduced to the Witcher franchise through the video game The Wild Hunt, which is the best video game I've ever played, and I love video games. I know I don't look like I would, but I totally do. Those games though have such an amazing storyline, and it turned out, very quickly figured out, that they're based off of these Polish novels. And something really cool about the game is it's not literally an adaptation of the events in the books, it's actually supposed to be what would happen after the books. So it's nice because it doesn't ruin anybody's perspective of the story in the books at all. It's kind of just, this is what we thought might happen after. The downside though is that the English translations that were released in America and that are continuing to be released in America are having the covers of the artwork with the video games on it. But that means that literally the cover of the book, the events portrayed in that cover don't happen in the books because the books precede the video game. Long story short, I was sent on a quest to find alternate covers. Turns out pretty much the only alternate covers that you can get that actually do justice to the events in the books and not the video games are the ones that are originally just in Polish. And I know I can't read Polish, but to me, most of the time when you read a book, once you're done with it, if you're not going to reread it, it just sits pretty on your shelf. And I figured, why not have some really awesome editions of these books to sit pretty on my shelf that actually represent the books themselves. I felt kind of bad, and I showed my husband when he got home. I was like, look how pretty, but they're, you know, I can't read them. And he's like, you've been wanting alternate covers for those for a while, and you're obsessed with Witcher. You have to get them. So I did, and I love them. Anyway, there you go, guys. That is my birthday book haul. I know the most exciting part for me was probably the most boring part for you, but I am just really happy and so grateful that I got to get books for my birthday and books that I've been really wanting and interested in. And if you guys have read any of these, let me know in the comment section down below because I'd love to know what you think of them. As always, if you guys liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos, and check out some more of my videos right over here. Thank you so much for watching. Whenever your birthdays are, happy birthday to you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.